Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Tejas. I'm an assistant planner for the City of Oxnard's Planning Division, and today I will be presenting Planning and Zoning Permit number 23-510-02. This is an alcohol special use permit for a convenience store located at 1955 South Patterson Road, called Beverage House Market. The applicant is Steve Rollins, and this project will be presented to the Oxnard Planning Commission on December 7th. Here is a project description. So the planning and zoning permit number 23-510-02 is for the request to change from an alcohol beverage control license type 20 to an ABC license type 21. A type 21 license allows this convenience store to sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits for the consumption of off the site. This 2,580 square foot convenience store is located within an existing 4,800 square foot commercial building at 1955 South Patterson Road. This site is a Zone Neighborhood Shopping Center Plan Development, also known as C1PD. The standard hours of alcohol sale are from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. The facility proposes to operate, though, from Sunday to Thursday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturdays. Here is the project site. As mentioned earlier, this is located on South Patterson Road, on the border of city limits, and the other cross street is West Hemlock Street. Here's some background on this convenience store and the existing commercial building. Originally, this commercial building was approved by the Plan Development Permit number 298 on January 21st, 1977. Later on December of that year, the Oxnard Planning Division approved Plan Development Permit 297 to construct the 5,000 square foot single-story commercial building north of this project site. On June of 1980, the main tenant of our project site at the time, 7-Eleven, applied for a major modification to this Plan Development Permit 298 to extend their operating hours to 2 a.m. This application was denied by the Oxnard Planning Commission. It wasn't until 2005, on October, where the Planning Commission approved the extension of operations, and in this time, the applicant, which was again 7-Eleven, applied to extend their operating hours to 24/7. Here is the project location and other surrounding uses. As you can see on the chart, the project site is zoned, as mentioned earlier, Neighborhood Shopping Center Plan Development, or C1PD. The existing land use, as mentioned, is a retail market, and this conforms with the general plan, as the general plan designation for the site is commercial convenience. North of the site, we have an apartment complex. The zoning for this apartment complex is garden apartment or an R3. The general plan designation is residential medium. On the south, we have some condominiums that are outside city limits, and as they're on the city of Port Hueneme jurisdiction. On the east, we have some single family homes, and therefore they're zoned single family, R1, or residential low for the general plan. And on the west, again, we have other apartment complexes. Again, these are designated garden apartment, R3, or residential medium. Here we have more detail on tables describing the general plan area for this particular site in the zoning map. As mentioned in the left, on the general plan, we have commercial convenience on the site. And on our zoning map, we have Neighborhood Shopping Center Plan Development, C1PD. Here is a street view of the site when 7-Eleven was the tenant. And we have a floor plan of our applicant and how they are going to set their convenience store. As mentioned, all the alcohol will be located behind the counter to distill spirits to allow the employees to be able to keep watch and secure the these alcohol items. For any alcohol special use permits, we have a police report summary. This police report shows that the crime rate for this site is lower than the average commercial properties citywide, meaning that in this area, we have less crimes reported compared to the average across the city. So the police beat coordinator for this site stated that there is no concerns regarding this change to their alcohol license. The only thing mentioned on the police report is the current outdoor lighting for the site is unsafe. There are overpoweringly bright and bright lights that could cause traffic hazards, and the police recommends outdoor lighting to be modified to create consistent illumination that is what is the standard of our city. On the right, we do have a table explaining all the different crime rates. And the most important one to understand is the applicant annual rate. As reported, this site's rate is lower than the average residential annual rate for the city. It's lower than the commercial rate. It is higher than the industrial rate, but still lower than the citywide annual rate based on data from 2022. Here's more about the police report. The review stated that there is no concentration located within 300 feet of alcohol sales. Their findings state, as mentioned before, that the crime rate around the site is below commercial average. There is no undue concentration per city standards of 350 feet or 1,000 feet. There is no undue concentration based on the state standards, and that's based on census tract. The census for the police standard for the state allows 3 venues to sell alcohol. This will be the first one for the census tract. Due to the fact that there's no other sites that provide alcohol for the purchase of for the neighborhood, it's been determined that this site does provide a public convenience. Now we're going to be talking about community input. As required, this project is within the Villa Marina and Marina West designated neighborhoods, and a community workshop was held on October 16. The city of Oxnard and the applicant sent out 2,711 notices in total for to include all neighborhood residents. Here we have some of the conditions of approval that I would like to mention. The first one is that this site will be the sale of alcohol will only occur between 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Single sale of alcohol beverages are restricted to 64 ounces in volume or less, and it cannot be sold by single container, but must be sold in manufactured prepackaged multi-unit quantities. The sale of mass-produced low-priced beer or malt liquor in single serving is prohibited. No wine shall be sold with an alcohol content of greater than 15% by the volume, except for dinner wines. Lastly, I would like to also showcase another condition. As mentioned by the police recommendation, the lighting is substandard. So this permit will require the lighting to be upgraded for the whole commercial center to meet the illumination requirements by the Oxnard City Code, therefore to provide more safe environment for everybody. As mentioned previously, this is an existing site that has already been developed through like the planned development permit. Therefore, it is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, also known as CEQA, due to Section 1531, existing facilities. Because this project does not require any physical development, it therefore does not trigger thresholds in the city CEQA guidelines. There is no exception to the exception, and a notice of exemption will be filed. Now I'm going to be talking about public comments. As mentioned earlier, This project was required to have a community workshop where community members were allowed to provide their comments based on this development or this proposed scope of work. As mentioned, notices were posted on site. An agenda was sent out to the surrounding property owners. And throughout both on the community workshop and on emails correspondence, staff did receive comments both in support and opposition. The opposition was more concerned that the use being the sale of alcohol will increase crime in the neighborhood. While the supporting side stated that allowing this convenience side to exist will allow for easier convenience for residents to pick up small food items. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission find the project to be categorically exempt from environmental review pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, Guidelines Section 1531, Existing Facilities, and adopt RIP Solution 2023 TAC XX, approving the planning and zoning permit number 23-510-02, which is the special use permit for alcohol, subject to certain findings and conditions. Again, thank you so much. That concludes my presentation.